Going to have dinner with Lord Claremont. Let's get that dick. Oh.
Ooh.
Hello, person. As you make your way through the large arched hallways of the castle towards one of the small private dining rooms used for just that purpose, you find yourself crashing into a young serving girl, as she had been overloaded with linens and laundry. The hallway soon becomes a flying sea of cloth.
Board our ship.
Do you help her? Of course, poor dear will be here forever if I don't help. Yes, since I ran into her, it was at least partially my fault. Even if I'm partially to blame, it's still her job to clean up after messes like this. You have an appointment to keep.
How kind are we?
Hmm. I mean, we went and helped that crying girl.
That's true. So, top one or middle one?
Hmm.
How kind are we?
Tiger's choice. You go for it.
You know what? Let's start the video off being really benevolent and kind, and we'll probably finish it murdering someone anyway.
Sounds good.
So,
First
top
one
one it
is.
is?
Yes. You aren't about to allow the poor girl to ruin her day by being forced to deal with the whole mess herself and then probably get in trouble for running late. You are positive Lord Claremont will understand. So you get down on your hands and knees and start picking up all of the lost linens, while you were busy handing the flustered girl back up to her lost pile. You realize you have accidentally picked up something else from the ground too, something interesting. The fall has moved enough of the letter outside of the envelope that you don't even have to face the temptation to see what's inside. Instead, it's very obvious what's inside: a passionate love letter. From someone of the more descriptive degrees, you can tell it was intended for the same serving girl in front of you, and it's from one of the delegates.
Scandalous.
Ooh, scandalous. Whether she had encouraged his attentions or not, just the hint that a delegate has been professing romantic attention towards the girl would certainly mean the girl was out of a job and sent off the island on the next ship. The goal of the summit, after all, is to encourage alliances and understanding between members of the different nations, not between nobles and servants. This information you have stumbled upon is dangerous for the delegate and certainly for the serving girl. What do you intend to do with it? Sneak the letter back into the laundry pile like you have never seen it and forget what you read. Stuff the letter back into the envelope and hand it to the serving girl, pretending you never saw what was inside, and forget what you read.
Oh, so both of them are the same, really. Except one of them, she's gonna know that we know.
Yep. So, do we want her to know that we know?
I mean, we have just done a really nice thing. Maybe we should even it out with
With this
a
somewhat not
blackmail-y
nice?
thing.
That
Yeah.
sounds. Alright, blackmail it is.
We are still a pirate.
That is true. We're gonna stuff that letter back in. You cheerfully hand the serving girl the letter with the laundry, telling her she must have missed it. She looks anxiously at you, but the sealed letter and your carefree face convinces her you haven't read it, and she relaxes and thanks you for your help. Sticking to your promise to yourself, you put the whole incident out of your mind and make your way to the dining room where Lord Claremont awaits. Hello. You arrive slightly tardy from the time that you were meant to meet, and hasten to apologize, but the smile Lord Claremont greets you with is almost heart-stoppingly dazzling as he quickly waves aside your apology and invites you to sit. Oh, I can't do
Lady
that.
Fremy, please sit. I'm so happy to see you again. I confess, although it has not been that long since our previous conversation, tonight's dinner and the chance to get to know you better hasn't been far from my mind. And since you accepted my invitation, I completely forgot his voice.
I don't remember it either, but that sounds good. As soon as you are seated, the ever-efficient servants of the isle come in bearing steaming trays filled with scrumptious smells. So sumptuous smells. Hot steam was still rising from the many delicacies they place in front of you. Then, as quickly as they came, they are gone, and you are alone. Or, well, as alone as any two delegates could be during the summit, which you had a feeling wasn't necessarily as alone as it appeared. Waiting until after you've taken a blissful bite or three, Lord Claremont smiles indulgently at you.
Tell me, Lady Fremy, how have you been? I imagine the stress of the summit is starting to wear on you as it is on all of us. There may not be much I can do to help, but I can at least listen.
Oh, well, you know. Thank you for the offer, but I'm perfectly fine. I have nothing to complain of. You are very kind, Lord Claremont, but I can hardly accept such a one-sided act of chivalry. That sounds like us. Well, if you are offering, let's start with the incompetent busybody servants and that matchmaker. And if you take my burdens on your shoulders as well as your own, what will become of you? Do you have someone to listen to your worries? Ooh. Second or fourth.
Second, yeah.
I mean, we could start, like, complaining. Those stupid servants and the matchmaker.
Fremy is not the kind to complain that much. She's the kind to slip something into a tea. It's, like you said, bottom or second. Your choice, Ombre.
Oh, crud. Very kind, Lord Claremont, but I can hardly accept such a one-sided act of chivalry. If you take my burdens on your shoulders as well as your own. I do like that last one.
Yeah. Bottom one?
Yeah. Lord Claremont stares at you in silent surprise before smiling and shaking his head wistfully.
Am I not even allowed something so simple as an offer of a listening ear and sympathy?
And am I not allowed something so simple as not becoming someone else's burden? Forgive me, Lord Claremont, I appreciate your intent, but it seems to me you have enough problems without me adding to them needlessly. You are indeed a strange man, Lord Claremont, to be disappointed that a lady doesn't wish to complain at you with no recompense.
Or maybe he's doing this thing, you know, just to get the gossip. Some information from us. Blackmail.
Well, that's what
You
I'm
can be like,
thinking, but...
to the matchmaker, you know, she's been talking shit about you.
I do like that first one. I think of the three, that one seems like the best. But maybe not. Oh, I can't tell.
No, I'm happy with the first one.
Yeah?
We're not actually giving away any information here.
That's true. The corner of his mouth sneaks up, as does one eyebrow.
Fair enough, Lady Fremy, fair enough.
You smile to make sure he knows no offense was meant nor taken. Don't look so disappointed, Lord Claremont. We still have 6 more weeks for our respective prides to do battle. I'm sure we will have a winner someday. Lord Claremont lets out a small sigh and leans back in his chair before shooting you another friendly smile, his eyes twinkling.
And I find myself no more enlightened into your well-being than I was before. It is a strange thing, these summits, where even concern and manners are not such simple things and no inquiries can be simply offered or accepted. But I hope you know and believe me when I say bringing you harm is the last thing I wish for. My concern for you was genuine and well-meant.
He gives you a strange, wistful look before brightening and sending you a brilliant smile, a mischievous twinkle in his eyes.
But let us talk of more cheerful things. A story from your past, perhaps. Something far from the isle and the politics, scheming it holds in the uncertainty of the future.
Well, there was the time I mistakenly kidnapped a goat and held it for ransom.
Did we do that?
Yep, apparently we did.
Oh,
He
no.
almost chokes on the wine he was sipping, which you can't exactly blame him for. It's not like he grew up in Heiss and is used to this kind of conversation. Maybe you can make him blush, too. You grin in anticipation. Well, when I was 10, there was this bully, and every time he did something bad, the grown-ups had a really hard time punishing him, because he would always be protected by his uncle, who had the ship manifests for the city. He would just threaten to make sure that important information got lost, and so our parents' ship wouldn't be able to go out. Which is a really dreadful fate for a pirate, to be grounded, you know. Anyway, for weeks, all this boy's uncle could talk about was how his precious was finally coming to the mainland. They would finally be reunited, and he would be happy again. I was really sick of the attitude this bully was getting, and how he was ordering all the children around like we were his deckhands. I read dickheads for a second. I was like, okay. So
I think say dickhands.
dickhands. So I decided I would take whatever his uncle's precious was and only give it back when he gave over the manifest job to someone else. So I bribed the lighthouse watchman to let me know the minute the ship is sighted and go out in the middle of the night, all dressed in black. I find the crate marked with the governor's seal and manage to haul it onto the cart and off the ship. It's only after I've sent the ransom note and am ready to catch up some sleep when the crate bleats and I realize there's something alive inside. Sure enough, I open the crate and inside is a grumpy billy goat, chewing on a silk dress that he somehow stole from the ship's cargo. All through that whole thing he was meowing, but I couldn't stop.
I was wondering what it was. I was like, is it a parrot?
It's the stupid cat. I love him so much. Okay. Luckily for the goat, because I sure as the sea didn't know how to take care of it, the bully's uncle caved immediately and sobbingly resigned. I snuck his goat out and left it tied in front of the house, where it proceeded to eat my father's favorite pair of dancing slippers.
I'm having a hard time believing this is a true story, and yet, somehow looking at you, I can tell it really is.
You grin and nod, but I haven't even gotten to the best part. Once his uncle could no longer threaten to ground my mother's ship, the next time the bullies started ordering me around, I punched him straight in the face, and there was nothing anyone could do about it. It felt so good. And the expression on his face, like he couldn't believe anyone would have the nerve to hit him. What a lovely memory. Lord Claremont finally gives in and lets out the laughter that you could tell was building for the whole story. Once he finally regains control of himself, he looks at you and shakes his head.
Lady Fremy, I almost don't know what to say, except the next time I need a story that has absolutely nothing to do with politics to cheer me up, I know exactly who to ask. Thank you.
There was a silent pause after the conclusion of your story, which Lord Claremont quickly fills by taking another bite of dinner and making pleased noises.
Yum. I don't know if I will ever get used to how fabulous the food is here on the Isle. A bit of a pity, don't you think, that all the chefs and cooks must spend so much time and effort mastering their craft, only for it to be properly used for 7 weeks once every 7 years.
His eyes twinkle mischievously as he leans in closer towards you.
Or do you think they have grand feasts just for the servants and natives whenever we aren't around? I wonder what life is like on the Isle when it's not a summit. What?
He finally notices the pointed look you have been giving him and blinks innocently. You make me tell you a personal story from my past and then speculate on the lives of the Isle servants? It's hardly a fair trade, don't you think? He sighs dramatically before leaning back with a look of resignation.
A fair enough point, I suppose. A story for a story it is, then. When I was maybe 8, my father decided that it was time to take me on a hunt. My father was wise in many things, but when he decided 8 was the right age to learn hunting, I'm not sure what he was thinking. Instead of bringing down even the smallest of game, I found a small rabbit injured and caught in a hunting trap. It looked so small and injured, all bright white except for the blood on its paw. I decided then and there that I was going to save it, and nurse it back to health. So I brought this injured bunny back, and watched over it, checking in on it every hour for something like 3 nights straight, desperately worried at any minute that the thing was going to die.
Did it?
No, it got better really quickly and then wandered around our estate like it owned the place. But it turns out that breeds like a rabbit isn't just a metaphor. It wasn't long before our entire manor and yard was completely overrun by little Snowball's descendants, which of course I absolutely refused to let anyone kill.
What happened? Were you buried in bunnies forever? He smiles ruefully.
We might have been, except that my father decided to send me away to my uncle's for the summer. When I came back, it was to hear that Snowball and all of her descendants had moved into the distant woods, where they were happily playing in their proper home. And my father gave me a puppy to raise instead. They ate them!
Yeah, they did. He smiles fondly at the memory. You must have been very close with your father.
Oh, I was. He was the best man I ever knew. Everything I know about how to live your life and how to treat people, I learned from him.
Was. Lord Claremont's eyes shade over with regret and pain, before his expression grows blank and more distant than you have seen on him Seeing that face, you can't help but regret your question.
He died when I was 10, and my world was never the same or as bright again. He ate my rabbits, so I ate him.
Oh, I'm sorry. Eating people. Before you know it, his expression is returned to normal and he smiles at you, but something about the atmosphere still feels heavy.
Don't be. It was a long time ago.
You can't help but feel the heavy mood that has settled over the pair of you was your fault. And if you want the meal to end on a better note, you are going to have to do something to fix it yourself. Distract him by throwing a dessert fruit into the air and peeling it with a flourish. Okay. Apologize for bringing up a painful subject and smile to cover the awkwardness. Fidget in your seat overcome with the awkwardness.
Hold on, what's skills like at the minute?
Not good.
Charm and... well, eloquence is pretty high. So maybe... the smiling thing and apologizing would do well.
Okay, we can try that then.
Although etiquette's like 40.
Yeah.
What would the fruit throwing come under, though?
I feel like that would be like military skills or something.
He killed 5 men with a piece of fruit.
I mean, all of our skills are linked to talking, not so much doing.
Yeah. Our grace is 10, and our poise is 25.
Yeah, we'd get hit in the face with that fruit.
Yeah. Shall we apologize?
All right, yeah. You hasten to apologize and smile brightly. Lord Claremont smiles back almost reflexively, and you can see him relax an infinitesimal amount. Sensing he has made you feel awkward, Lord Claremont hastens to change the subject, and while you manage to once again return to a sense of normalcy, you have a feeling that he's still feeling the effects of talking about his father, simply hiding them behind the bright smile he's quick to show you. It isn't long before the pair of you have finished the last of the dessert, and it is time for your evening to end. Lord Claremont gracefully rises to his feet and hurries to pull your chair out from the table and offers you his hand. Thank you, Lord Claremont. I really hope you don't think I'm incapable of getting out of a chair on my own, Lord Claremont. I require at least a pool of sludge before breaking a sweat. Thank you for the assistance, Lord Claremont, after all that food. I was afraid I was going to have to roll out of the chair and be pushed back to my room as an overstuffed ball. Ignore his outstretched hand and rise to your feet on your own. Well, if you are going to be so chivalrous about it, how can I refuse? Thank you for the assistance, Lord Claremont.
I really like that middle one.
Me too. Let's do that one. That one's hilarious to me. He laughs, a clear, joyful noise that bounces off the walls, causing the corners of your mouth to tug up before you know it. All your efforts to keep your expression serious have gone to waste.
Well, we certainly can't have that. Think of your poor dignity.
Yes, I pity my dignity often. He laughs again, and his cool fingers wrap easily around your hand. You didn't require his assistance, but it is rather surprising how easily he manages to assist you up, a small, graceful movement that has you on your feet in seconds. He smiles at you again before quickly releasing your hand.
Thank you very much for agreeing to have dinner with me, Lady Froggy. I have enjoyed our time together very much.
No thank you for the invitation, Lord Claremont. I also enjoyed myself a great deal, which is the truth, or the same thing but a lie.
I mean, did we enjoy ourselves?
I mean, yeah, until we brought up his dad.
That was the best part.
I'd say it's the truth.
Yeah.
I think he'd catch on if we lied to him anyways.
Yeah.
He smiles brightly at you, and you feel like your words have genuinely pleased him.
I would offer to escort you back to your rooms, but it would be a grave act of misconduct to take such liberties after our first tete-a-tete.
His eyes twinkle to let you know just how seriously he feels about such things.
So alas, fair damsel, I must wish you good night.
Eyes still twinkling, he gives you a great dramatic bow, his coattails dancing with a flourish. He hastens to ruin the effect by slouching with the greatest grin as soon as he returns upright.
But your guard dog is here. Do not bite me, I return your lady to you in good health.
You turn with surprise to see Jasper standing at the doorway, ready to escort you back to your room. As you head back to your room, you can't help but contemplate your evening. It has certainly been interesting. You feel you have learned some things about Lord Claremont, but to truly see behind the mask, you feel you have yet a long way to go. Watching how he deftly led both conversation and neatly dealt with the servants, you feel like you have a better grasp on leadership and command. He is clearly a master, and just watching him has taught you much. In any case, it has been a long day. You are more than ready to retire to your room for the night and attempt to get some sleep.
Successfully completed an event.
Woo!